What's up, everybody? It's Sid and Millie back with another episode.
Yep.
So, Millie, what are we talking about today?
Today we're going to be talking about the World Cup 2026.
Ooh,
Yeah,
hot topic.
massively huge event that's about to be taking place, and I think that there's a lot of controversy, a lot of chaos, a lot of kind of um, bad things happening surrounding the World Cup. And yeah, that stuff doesn't really get highlighted. So I think it's important to talk about some of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes with this tournament because
Mm-hmm.
there are massive implications to it being held partially in the United States. And we're already seeing the impact of that because of this current administration. So yeah, I want to talk about what that's going to look like for this year.
Yeah, I mean, I have seen a couple things. I know I've heard you talk about a lot of things that have been
Yeah,
going on with
yeah,
the World Cup already.
100%.
Games haven't even started yet.
Yeah,
And so yeah, I think
yeah.
that's a great idea. Let's get into it,
For
Millie.
sure, yeah. So yeah, as you know, games haven't started yet for the World Cup. They start this Thursday. The World Cup is being held jointly amongst North America this season, this year, and it's essentially going to be held some games in Canada, some games in Mexico, and some games in the United States. So this World Cup is supposed to be the biggest World Cup held in history.
Wow.
More teams than ever were allowed into the World
Really?
Cup. More teams than ever were allowed to qualify for the World Cup.
Oh,
So this
wow.
was supposed to be the most expansive World Cup in history that we've seen.
Dang, I had no idea. That's
Yeah,
pretty
so that was
crazy.
kind of the goal with this World Cup was to
Okay,
incorporate more teams, more representation from all over the world.
got it.
So that being FIFA's goal, I think, yeah, it's a little bit dumbfounding. I know that they plan these events massively far ahead, so they had no guarantee over who was going to be the president of the United
That's
States,
true.
obviously. But FIFA had plenty of time to observe what was happening in the United States and make the obvious decision to move all the games out of the
True.
United States. They had plenty of time to organize with Canada, with Mexico, and distribute the games accordingly and
Yeah.
necessarily to avoid games being held in the United States. And now that that hasn't happened and didn't happen when this administration come in, we're now seeing the impact of that.
Mm.
And so the impact of that has been there's already been a referee who has been denied entry to the United States. A Somalian referee who is world renowned as the best African referee was denied entry to the
Crazy.
United States for the World Cup. FIFA has hired this referee to referee matches at the World Cup, and he has been denied entry to the country that is hosting the World Cup.
I just feel like that's so ridiculous because I think I had seen something about this, and correct me if I'm wrong.
Hmm.
I had seen something saying that he had to get some sort of diplomatic visa,
Yeah, he
and then
had
they
all. Yeah,
still
yep, he had all of the necessary
all of
paperwork.
them and
Um,
still denied his entry into
yeah,
this into the country.
and there's simply no reason for that. But we know that this administration has been pumping out lies and racism about the Somalian community, not only in the United
Yes.
States, but about the global Somalian community as well. And due to that, farce racism that they've been pushing, we're now seeing a clear example of that impacting the World Cup immediately. Because of these nonsense laws that our administration is following, a referee for the World Cup does not have access to the tournament. And that's just unacceptable. It's
Yeah.
unacceptable for a world renowned tournament to be occurring in a country that will not allow the referees into the tournament.
Yeah, it's so
It's
ridiculous. I
disgusting.
mean, the laws against certain countries are so racist because
Yeah,
I'm pretty
it's yeah,
sure for Somalia, it's if you've been there since 2011 or like if
wow.
you visited any time between 2011 and now, you're not allowed into the United States.
Yeah,
How insane
it's
is
just
that?
disgusting, absolutely disgusting. And so that was the referee situation. That's the first one we've seen so far. I'm sure it won't be the last. And now we also have the situation of the Moroccan fans that were denied
Mm-hmm.
entry to the United States. So fans of Morocco, people from Morocco, obviously wanting to support their country at the World Cup, put in the visa applications, followed all of the necessary processes to come to the United States and come to support their team. And they were almost across the board all denied access. So, another example of this supposed to be a world tournament with every nation, with the most expansive World Cup in history. And here is another example of fans being denied access to support their team at the World Cup.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, there's no line. There's no line. And I know we're going to probably talk about the Iranian team
Right.
is
Yes.
the
Yeah.
other
Definitely. Yeah.
instance that
Yeah.
I've seen of just
Yeah.
like
You want to explain that one?
they, oh yeah. So basically, they're not allowing the Iranian national team to stay in the United States. They're forcing them to stay in Mexico,
Yep.
and they have to travel into and out of the United States on their game days.
Every single game
Every
day,
single
they will have
game
to
day.
travel into the States from a different country, play a match of football, and then leave the country.
Same day.
And this is due to the United States starting a conflict in the Middle East, provoking a country in the Middle East. And now we are punishing, the United States is now punishing the Iranian footballers who are here to play in the World Cup. They are now punishing them for the actions of our own president.
How does it make sense?
It doesn't. It is the most infuriating thing ever. And as a footballer, I played in college, and we would have to travel on game days, and it was miserable. It tightens up your legs,
Right.
dehydrates you, and mentally is extremely tiring and exhausting. So we are, again, another example of the United States taking what should be a fair and honest tournament, celebrating the beautiful game of football, and we have now turned it into a rigged, I don't even know, a rigged garbage fest, because you are not allowing the footballers from a certain country to have a fair opportunity to play in their matches. That's rigged.
Yeah.
That is unfair. They have rigged the game against the Iranians from the get-go.
100%.
And that is massively disrespectful to the core values of the World Cup.
Yeah, 100%. It's so unfair
Yeah.
to not only like the team, but
Yep.
also just anybody who's supporting Iran as
Iran,
well.
yep, 100%.
You know, because just like you said, it's rigged. You're immediately putting them down
Yep.
on every single game day that they
For
have.
real. Yeah, giving them, less of a fair chance to
Yeah.
compete, which is just unacceptable. And then I think probably the last point we can touch on is the gun violence, right? England men's national team, there was a shooting in Kansas, Missouri, which injured 9 people right outside of where the English men's national team's base is in Kansas. It is terrifying to think of the impact that gun violence could have on this World Cup in the United States. 9 people were shot in Missouri. And it is massively scary to think that all of these footballers, all of these people are coming from all over the world, and they're coming to a place where gun violence is rampant and not controlled at all.
Yeah,
I
not
mean,
at all.
Imagine coming to the United States to try and watch your country perform at the World Cup, at the World's event, watching your team play, and you have to be worried every time you step outside or inside a stadium that there could be gun violence.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to say welcome to the United States,
Yeah, welcome to
but
America.
that really is. I mean,
This
you
is
and
America.
I avoid crowds like the plague.
Yeah,
because you don't really know what could happen in this country. And that's also partially why we won't be going near any games.
Yeah, I mean, we live in the States. We will not be going to a single World Cup game. No interest. I mean, the prices of the FIFA tickets are absolutely insane. The prices are astronomical for literally basically every match.
And, yeah.
Not only that, but the United States doesn't have the infrastructure to support a tournament like this. You can't hop on a train from one state to the next state to go see another game. You just can't do that. You're going to have to fly everywhere you go, or rent a car and drive 12, 15 hours.
Either option is expensive.
Yeah, and they're also terrible options.
Yeah.
This country is just, there's no infrastructure for stuff like that. Even getting to the stadiums, right? People are going to be trying to drive Uber over to stadiums to watch games play, because we just don't have like trains. We don't have things that can allow people to move around quickly and easily. So that means there's going to be massively large crowds inside, outside of these stadiums. People trying to get in or out of the stadium is going to be a nightmare, because it's going to be all the crowds of cars and parking and all of that chaos at all of these games. It's going to be a mess. We obviously have seen football played at Wembley.
Yeah.
We've seen how easy, the officials in England are able to move people in and out of the stadium post match and stuff. That just won't be a reality in the United States.
No, absolutely not.
We've
It's
been
going to
to
be a free for all.
Yeah, we've been to games here in the States, specifically like Premier League matches.
Mhm.
So a similar instance to the World Cup where they turn football fields into soccer fields, and they do that whole transition and put their little grass squares down, which is also a terrible footballing pitch. We can get into that
Yeah.
element next, but yeah, and then the fact that when you get to that stadium, there's nothing. There's
Yeah,
nothing
it's gonna
around said
be
stadium.
in a desolate area.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to walk to or from the stadium.
Or from the stadium to your hotel.
Literally.
Please
To
forget
or
about
from
that.
anywhere around the stadium. There's
Yeah,
just no
you're gonna
way.
have to drive
You're gonna
everywhere or
have to
Uber
drive.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Just more added expenses
Mm-mm.
on top of your already inflated ticket prices that you're going to be paying to get over here.
Yeah. And let's not even mention ice. We didn't even talk about ice.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be a very real thing, especially for anybody who's coming to the United States from, countries that are majority Black or majority minority. Like, please be on the lookout. Watch out. ICE agents have killed multiple American citizens this year and have detained tons of Americans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kidnapped American people. So if American people are not safe from this agency, the foreigners coming to our country are also not safe from this agency. I mean, not only are they not letting people in for the tournament, but once you're here, you're not guaranteed safety. So if I was from out of the country, I would not be coming to this World Cup.
I would not.
I can't even imagine coming to this World Cup. It's not worth. It's not. Yeah, that's also true. It's definitely just not worth the risk in that regard for like foreigners. So whatever. If you are here, go to your game and get back to your hotel. Stay safe. Like, you do not want to be out. Safe. You don't want to be lingering. You don't want to be trying to explore your talent. Like, I just wouldn't do it, because this is just not a safe place overall. So yeah, those are a few reasons. Another one, again, I just kind of brushed on it, is the field conversions, right? Mm-hmm. In Europe, there's prime footballing pitches, right? We take tons of time and care into the effort of garnishing a proper grass field that footballers can play on and play well on. That's just not the reality in the United States, right? They get these big carpet rolls of grass, they roll them out over a NFL football field, and then they put in the little splotchy grass squares on the field. It is terrible. We will probably see more injuries than ever at this World Cup, because when you don't invest in proper footballing pitches, players suffer. Yeah. This little 2-inch thick little cut grass that they're using in these grass squares or in these grass rolls is not good football. Or not good grass. It's not good grass for football. It's not good grass for the players' knees and ankles. So yeah, it's just going to be really embarrassing when we see that camera angle. When we're watching the games and we're seeing all those squares on the field,
instead of the beautifully mowed and
Premier League pitch,
and primed grass.
Yeah, it won't be anything like that. I know there are some fields that are solely like MLS team pitches, so some of those will hopefully be in better shape. But for the most part, the footballing pitches here are tragic. They're hard to look at, and I'm hoping a lot of the players can stay safe during the summer. Because that is another element in the United States, is the safety element.
Yeah, for the players, during games and everything. And I mean, the heat will also not be any joke for them.
Yeah, and the heat is another thing. They've basically already guaranteed that there's going to be like water breaks and stuff during the World Cup. They're also doing like extended half times and things like that. So again, just more examples of them just tarnishing the game, right? We're here to watch football. We're here to see football be played. We're not here for this advertising frenzy that we know is inevitably going to happen, where there's an ad every water break, an ad every extendo halftime. It's just
gonna happen.
we just don't want
sneak the ads in anywhere they can.
Yeah, for real. And that's going to be definitely the detriment to watching the games, online. But obviously, that's our only option.
Yeah, I mean, even just thinking about the heat as a fan.
Stay hydrated
out there.
Stay hydrated.
Please,
I know
because
FIFA,
that sneaks up on you fast.
Yeah, 100%. And FIFA was trying to prevent fans from being able to bring their water bottles into the stadium. I know New York was able to fight back against that and make it so that fans can bring water bottles into the stadium, but I don't think it was across the board.
Dang.
So yeah, we'll see what happens
Everyone's
with
got to
that.
buy water in the stadium. It's like the
Capitalism,
airport.
yeah, yeah,
What's that? The
um,
convenience fee. They're like, you
exactly.
can't go anywhere else for it, so pay $7 for this bottle of water.
Yep, yeah, literally. But
Great.
yeah, so those are kind of our thoughts on the World Cup being hosted in the United States. I think FIFA did a terrible job in selecting hosts. If it was up to me, it would have just been Canada and Mexico hosting, or even just Mexico or just Canada, including the United States in such a time of turmoil and chaos and idiocracy. Was just a really dumb decision by FIFA and the FIFA president, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So now we have, again, fans being denied entry, referees being denied entry, footballers being detained and questioned at the entrance of the United States for hours on end. This happened to an Iraqi footballer.
Wow.
So with those sorts of things happening, it is putting a massive stain on the world's tournament. The World Cup is supposed to exemplify the beautiful game of football. It's not supposed to be influenced by politics and garbage and terrible people. That's not what it's meant for.
It's supposed to bring a sense of community. It's supposed to bring people together.
100%. That is the epitome of the World Cup. That's why the tournament was invented, was to bring people together. And I think the question that the Iraqi footballer posed is a pretty.
What was it?
It was essentially, he said, if the United States is so afraid of foreign internationals, why are you hosting the World Cup?
Honestly,
He's preaching.
A great question.
Yeah,
I'm wondering the same thing.
Yeah. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. We just shouldn't have it. This administration doesn't. Yeah, it's just disgusting. It's really disappointing, because again, like, I've been watching the World Cup since my birth. Have watched this tournament in so many different countries and so many different places, and have watched what it means to the players, watch what it means to the fans, watch how it's brought humanity and people closer together. And yeah, it's just really, really disappointing to see it kind of being degraded into a farce like this. And it's being led by this administration and their policies. But FIFA had an opportunity to fight back against that and prevent things like this from happening. And FIFA didn't do that. They decided to grovel at the president's feet, and all that groveling didn't solve the real issues. And so here we are.
Remain complicit.
Yep. So let's see if there are any other refs, fans, or footballers who are denied entry to the United States for the World Cup, because as we know, you cannot have a world tournament, a world event, a World Cup without the world. So
true.
Yeah.
And
anyway,
stay safe out there.
Yeah, and if you're here, please stay safe. If you're here and not from the States, please stay safe. So that's really all. Those are our thoughts on the 2026 World Cup being hosted partially in the United States.
So if you made it this far,
thanks for watching.
See you next time.
Peace.